is now underway in Seoul, South Korea that could mean a big change for the internet. It may not be a big deal for those of us who use the Roman alphabet, but as Errol Barnett tells us, to those who don't, it will mean the world.
Get ready for a seismic shift on the internet.
It's the single biggest change in 10 or 15 years.
The group that oversees domain names is expected to vote Friday to allow web addresses in non-Latin script. That includes Cyrillic, Arabic, Hindi, and Chinese.
Very positive support for this around the world. All of the objections have really been handled. So I think it's just extremely probable, and we're really excited to move forward with that.
That means for about half of the world's 1.6 billion internet users, web surfing's about to get easier. People who speak Arabic, for example, will no longer need to use Latin script domain names like .com or .net.
There are
over 40 million users in the Arab world, and this number is expected to increase in the coming days, which in turn makes the Arabic language one of the strategic languages through which a lot of companies, for instance Google, are interested in.
However, some worry this could lead to greater worldwide miscommunication.
If Korean is used during the international communication, foreigners won't be able to understand and won't be able to read it well enough, so there could be some problems in communication.
While others see the change opening up the internet to a much broader population.
If they can make this technology work and people can use their own language to enter in addresses, I think that would really expand the practical applications of the internet. People from different walks of life and different age groups could get more engaged with it.
Now, one lingering question is how will people in the West using Latin script keyboards like this access websites in Korean, Hindi, or in Arabic? Well, officials at ICANN, that's the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, say they think technology will come along to solve that problem. Errol Barnett, CNN, Atlanta.
Like us, you might have a lot of questions about this, so we're joined now by Martin Schwimmer, an attorney specializing in internet issues and domain names. He's here to help us understand what this may mean for internet users worldwide. He joins us from New York. Martin, thanks so much for being with us. First of all, what's the upside, do you think, to internationalizing domain names?
Well, there has been unmet need for international domain names since 1984. There are, as your report said, half of the world's internet users do not use our Roman character set.
So, for example, give us an example of what a new domain name might look like. Say, a domain name in Russian or a domain name in China. Like, it wouldn't be google.com anymore. It would be in their characters, right?
Well, there's going to be a code. The underlying platform of the internet runs on something called ASCII, where the A stands for American. Now there needs to be some sort of code that will take the first letter of, say, the Cyrillic, the Russian language, and it will use something called Punycode, and it's going to translate that Cyrillic alphabet into the corresponding ASCII code. So the user in Russia is only going to see Cyrillic if it works properly.
Okay, interesting. Will we have to change our keyboards in order to use these international domain names?
Well, people in Russia or the Arabic countries or whatever, they already have keyboards that are using their native characters. There would be an issue of how a Westerner could access by typing in the domain name. However, there's no reason why they can't already navigate to those pages using links or search engines, for example.
Do you see any downsides to this?
Well, the more complex the domain name system is, the more chance there will be for some sort of technical mischief, such as spoofing or phishing, which someone tries to interfere with the way in which the domain name resolves.
Okay, so if you're just sort of playing around and trying other domain names in other languages and you may not recognize certain things, are you saying that you may be a little bit more vulnerable because you may not recognize some of the foreign language on that website?
I don't think that's where the real danger is. The danger comes when bad guys somehow get between you and where you want to go. We have something called spoofing today, in which someone pretends to be the domain name that you're looking for. The more complex that procedure is, the more likely a bad guy can get between you and the site where you want to go. And ICANN is taking this into consideration in this fast-track implementation.
ICANN is having this conference today, and they're going to take a vote on internationalizing domain names. All expectations is that they're going to have a yes vote. I've been reading some of the blogs coming out of the conference, and there seems to be some concern about the cost to businesses. Some business people are saying, how much is this going to cost my company? How much is it going to cost me to retrain my staff? What would you say to those questions?
I think that there's going to be cost savings within various countries so that a Korean enterprise is going to reduce its costs because its people are going to be able to use Korean language domain names. I think that there's a more profound problem about the Internet as a whole, which is that companies in any country have to buy a lot of domain names that they don't necessarily need as a defensive measure to prevent someone from taking their brand name in that particular language. So costs of brand protection will certainly increase as a result of this.
Martin Schwimmer from New York, an attorney specializing in domain names. Thanks so much for really getting behind the scenes and under the keyboards for us and explaining this. We appreciate it.
Thank you.